Hey everybody, we're going to show you how to make a homemade dowel stand to display your dowels so beautifully. Here's just a few samples. And we just take a old dowel and the tools that we need are a standard 11.5-inch dowel, standard Barbie size, a regular wire hanger, a pair of pliers, some assorted beads, and a little super glue. Those are all household items. The first thing that we're going to do is detach the hook of the hanger. We use our pliers to get a good grip, and we just bend it back and forth until it breaks off. We have to do that on each side to release the hook of the hanger. We don't need that. That's in the way. And then once we remove the hook, we're going to straighten the hanger out into one long line. Just bend it, use the pliers to open it up, stretch it out. Next, we're going to center the hanger around the dowel's hips across the front. And we are just going to bend it. Try to bend it around. Start in the middle of the hanger, and it might be tough. Different hangers have different thickness, and some of them are really a lot thinner and easier to bend. So you're gonna make a little circle around the dowel's hips. It's a view from the front and the back. So once it's around the hips, then we're actually going to continue the loop around each leg. So we're going to stick a leg in on the pull it to the side, and then continue to wrap it around on one side. So each side is going to go around each leg. So that's one side, and then we'll stick the leg back on the other end, and then we'll wrap it around the second side. So eventually you're going to wind up with 2 loops. And we're not doing any measuring or anything. We're just using the dowel. And like I said, this is kind of a thicker hanger, so it's a little bit harder. So those are the loops around the legs, but we're going to try to even that out and make it look a little better. So we're going to bend that up and to make the loops look a little better, try to even it out. Since we're not really measuring, there will be an asymmetry. It won't be automatically even, but that's okay. We can work around there. I'm just using the pliers to help me bend it into the proper shape, get the loops nice and even. And like I said, it's just it's more work depending on the thickness of the hanger, how strong the hanger is. So we're just bending it into the proper shape and try to get it as even as possible. So here's our shape. This is going to be the 2 loops, and the sides are hanging down. So we want those sides to go over the little middle piece, and I'm using the pliers to help me. We're going to pull that down, the straight ends down, so that it goes over. And what we're going to do is loop it all the way around. But depending on the thickness of the hanger, sometimes that's harder. So I got it halfway done. I'm going to open it up a little bit because I want those straight ends to come through the middle. And I'm actually going to use the dowel to kind of help me use it as resistance, so I could finish pulling those ends over. And if I'm trying to do it 2 at a time, but I'm having a little trouble because the wire is a little bit thicker than usual. So I'm doing it 1 at a time now, using the dowel as a resistance. And I'm pulling one end over at a time. Now I'm doing a second end. Yep, bending it all the way over. Using the dowel as resistance. And there's the shape. As I'm bending the hanger, the little pieces are peeling off, you know, so I have to just brush that out the way. And what I want to do is, once again, even this out as best as I can. So I'm using the pliers, bending it, try to even it out. I've sped up the video, so I'm not really going that fast. And this is the general shape. Just like that. You see how that wire loops around in the center of the two big hoops. I'm just going to try to straighten this out as much as possible. Like I said, we're not doing true measurements, so we're just going to get it as even as we can. Okay. So what we're going to do is, the hard part is over, and now it's just the easiest part. We're going to insert the dowel, and we're going to flip her upside down. So now her feet are up, and what we're going to do is try to measure off the bottom and cut the excess, the extra pieces off. What I want to do is use the pliers, and I'm going to rest the pliers on her heels. And so we'll know, and that'll measure it off exactly where to bend. That's where we bend the hanger now is going to be the bottom of the dowel stand. That's the part that sits on the table. And what we're going to do is put the dowel back in and see if the dowel sits even on all 4 points. The 4 points are both of the feet, both of the dowel's feet, and both of the little points of the dowel stand. And I got a view. I'm pointing out where it's nice and balanced. Now sometimes when you bend it, it's not gonna even out, so you just try it again. So you might have to try that 2 or 3 times until it balances. And as you can see, you see the little asymmetry of the dowel stand. It's not exactly even, but as long as it balances on the table, then that's fine. It does its job. So now we're gonna remove the extra part of the hanger that we don't need. So I just do a little 2-finger measurement, and I use the pliers to remove the extra part of the dowel stand, of the hanger that we use. And I've actually sped up the video, so it's not going that bad. And after you remove both parts, then that's what you have left. But you don't want those ragged edges where you could scratch and hurt yourself. So we're just going to cover those up with some beads. This is where the beads come in. You could buy assorted beads from anywhere, and it doesn't matter what size or color or anything. This part you could just do whatever you want to do, basically. So you just put the bead, attach the bead, a little drop of glue, give it a few seconds to hold. That's all it takes. Do it on the other side. And this is it. This is the finished product. We're gonna put the dowel back in. This is how it looks, all done. Put the dowel back in and see how it looks. We're gonna set it on the surface. We're gonna make sure that it is balanced. We're gonna make sure that it stands up properly. We're gonna we have to adjust the dowel, wiggle the dowel. Sometimes we have to lean her forward or pop one of her knees. Sometimes we have to pull on the dowel stand. Just you do what it takes to make sure that she stands up okay. And this hanger right here is a gray hanger. I've used hangers different colors, white, silver, black. I've also used plain old nail polish to paint the dowel stands. It only takes a few minutes. It's super easy. These are just household items, things that we already have around the house to make the dowel stands. That's why I think this is a cute little project. It started off with my niece when she was about 5 or 6. She's a teenager now. She's totally lost interest, but I'm still doing it. And these are just some dowel stands I made. The different color beads I actually painted with nail polish. And here's another one. You could use your old dowels. She's missing a head, but we still made this look really cool to display. We use glitter to put on the beads, to cover the beads. You could do anything with this. This is a really cool project. So I want you guys to try it at home and leave comments and let me know what you like. And I got something else coming up for you soon. So thanks a lot. Take care.